In approximately 1989, Joey Bellotti, who I saved, Tommy Bellotti's brother, and he was with me when I was a captain. Then I made Big Louie a captain, and he was under Big Louie. And I elevated to the Gonzalier family, and then I became the underboss. Joey Bellotti, everybody thought, you know, because he was Tommy's brother, that he wasn't on solid ground, but he was with me. And so one day I'm down by the club in Manhattan, the Ravenite Social Club, John's Club, and John calls me over. And he's talking to Vic Arena. Vic Arena was on a committee, three-man committee. Persico was in jail. And they broke up the committee, and Persico sent out word that Vic Arena should be the acting boss, no committee. Probably because the committee wasn't getting along. So he took over as the acting boss of the Colombo family, and he was talking with John, and John called me over, and he said, they're asking for Joey Bellotti's head. They want us to take him out. So obviously I said, for what? He raised his hands to Johnny Pate, who was a captain, his brother, Robert Pate, and gave him an enormous beating. How do you feel about this? I feel that I should go and talk with Joey Bellotti. He's tough, super tough with his hands. Tough with a gun too, but super tough with his hands. Always had that reputation. I want to check it out. I want to listen to his side. We just can't take their word, what it is. No disrespect for you, Vic, but I don't know what you're being told. Maybe you know part of the story. I got to get the other part of the story, and I think we should talk about it. So that's what John did. He told Vic, he said, listen, Vic, you're the acting boss. For this sit down when it happens, let Sammy go check it out. You'll be a captain just for this sit down, and then you go back to being the acting boss. Sammy, instead of being the underboss, you act like a captain and represent Joey in this thing, and you guys talk, straighten it out. And he tells Vic whatever the decision is, and I'll abide by it. Vic said, that's fair. We could do this. I went back to Staten Island that night. I sent for Joey Bellotti. He came and met me. So I said, what happened? You want to beef with this Robin? You raise your hands to him? He said, yes, Sammy. Me and him were talking on the phone, and we had an argument. I hung up on him. He came over my house. Came in my house, opened the door, and he came in. We argued. He raised his hands, and I broke his fucking ass. They're not saying that. They're saying you beat him up for no apparent reason, and you really went to work on him. I hear. I didn't see him yet. Very badly, and they're asking for your head. Sammy, after my brother went, I will put with you. I love you. You saved my life, bro. Whatever your decision is, go with it. If you believe that, I understand Cosa Nostra. You have to take me out. I won't run. I won't fight. I won't do nothing. I'll come in on your word. All right. All right, the sit-down's for tomorrow, and we'll see what's what. I went down Mulberry Street again the next night, and Vicarina was there. We went down the block. It was a restaurant, Joe Butcher's place. We got a table way in the back. Johnny Pate was there. He was a captain. He brought his brother, Robert Pate, in. I mean, he was almost unrecognizable. Joey just smashed his fucking face up to it. I mean, there wasn't a spot on him that wasn't black and blue or fucked up. Broke my heart to look at him like that. He is a friend of ours. So he left. Johnny Pate didn't leave. He sat in the sit-down. But Vic would do the talking. At the end of him talking, he said, Sammy, there's nothing else for us to do but do and deal with Cosa Nostra. Raising your hands to another friend of ours is the death penalty. We want to take him out. If you guys want to take him out because he's your own people, we want him dead. If you don't do it, we'll do it. I said, I'm glad, Vic, that you brought up Cosa Nostra. I know Cosa Nostra just a little bit. Not maybe as well as you do, but I agree. If you raise your hands to another friend, that friend has the right to beat you to a fucking pulp or kill you, even. Your guy is saying one story, that Joey raised his hands. I spoke with Joey last night. Joey's saying that he raised his hands. But let me go further, because we don't know who did what. They argued on the phone. Now I bypassed Vic a little bit and looked at Johnny Pate, who was a captain. It's his brother. Didn't your brother have an argument on the phone about a situation? Yes, he did. Joey hung up on him, infuriated him. He came out of the house, ran straight over to Joey's house. Yes, that's where the fight took place. Well, it wasn't much of a fight. Joey don't have a scratch on him. He's got no black and blues. He's got nothing. Your brother looks like he got hit by a car. And my heart goes out to him because he's a friend. John, I'm not trying to be a smart guy here. I'm just trying to use common sense and Cosa Nostra, like Vic said. We don't know who did what. But here's what I do know. And you agreed. There was an argument. Joey hung up on him. Pate went over his house. Not an after-hour club, not a strip joint, not a bar. In his fucking house. In front of his wife and his children. How could you blame Joey? He didn't go to his house. He was home. I turned to Vic. Vic, if I come to your house, enraged, in front of your wife and your children, if I could win the fight with you, Sammy, I would kill you. That's just what I told Joey. I could forcibly ask for your brother's head. There is witnesses. They're not friends of ours. But there's his wife, a whole bunch of 4 or 5 kids who were there. I spoke with them too. His wife, she maybe would try and cover for him. She didn't say, I didn't see it. I don't know, I just heard it. She said she saw it. The kids came to me. I've got to know the kids now. I could ask for your brother's head. Make the commission make a decision about it. If you lose in the commission with all the other bosses, this story, you can't win. We'll kill your brother. How far do you want to carry this? I feel bad that he got hurt. You don't go into a friend of ours' house in front of his family screaming and yelling and whatever. If you would have said that Joey slapped him out of frustration because this was happening in front of his wife and kids, I might buy that. I might. But the beating he gave your brother, he was getting hit in front of his wife and his children. And he understands Cosa Nostra. Maybe you think he's weak because his brother was killed. He was with me. He's not weak. He didn't run away. He didn't rat. He didn't do any fucking thing. He came into a meeting with me and Frankie the Chico. He didn't run. He didn't run now when I went to see him last night. Vic, I'm not going to ask for this kid's head. Whatever he got, I believe in my heart it was his fucking fault for going in that house like that. I'm not going to say he raised his hands first or he did or he didn't. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to ask for his head. Vic, you're the acting boss. Be real. I know what we're supposed to do, and we're doing it. But think about this. We don't straighten this out. And it goes up to you when you're the acting boss, and John, and all the other bosses. Think about it. I'm not asking for his life. If the decision goes against him, I will fucking personally take his fucking life. Or we'll allow Joey to take his life. Or we'll tell you guys, like you're asking us to do, to take his fucking life. I understand he's a good guy. He was frustrated. He made a mistake. He got a beating. That's Cosa Nostra. So I'm glad you reminded me about Cosa Nostra. Vic looked at me. He looked at Johnny Pate. He said, listen, he's right. He's right. If I had to sit as a boss or acting boss, your brother's going to lose this decision. I'm sure, and I care for him. And I'm sure the bosses don't give a fuck about him one way or another. He went to his fucking house. Sammy's letting it go. John said he would abide by Sammy's decision. And mine. Pate said, I understand it more clearly now. I'll let it go. I said, what we could do is make them shake hands, forget about it. It was a horrible thing. We could all forget about it. Vic said, no, Sammy, one thing I want is to have Joey stay away from him and Johnny Pate. They don't want to shake hands. They don't want to do nothing. We'll accept it. We will not move against him. I give you my word. And I will go back to John and my people and tell them. He lost the decision. He could have and should have lost his life. But Sammy took a pass on that. That's the only reason he's alive. Fair enough. I got up, I shook Vic's hand. I said, Pate, I don't even know what to say to you, but I could have went another route. I'm not your enemy. I'm your friend. Your brother was wrong. There's nothing, I'm not going to give you somebody's life with this. All right, Sammy put his head down, he put his hand out, I shook his hand. Basically, that was the story, and it ended like that. Nobody did nothing. I told John. He says, you know why I did that with Vic and you? To put you down and talk? Not really. I knew you would crush him. He's no match. He thinks he knows it all with the mafia and the Cosa Nostra and everything else. I knew he didn't stand a chance against you. Okay. He says that I'm glad you gave the kid the pass. Because he would have died over this. You can't go in a friend of ours' house and do what the fuck he did. Then he tells me, tell Joey, next time somebody does that, kill him. Don't let him get out of the house no more. If you beat him after that, go get a fucking knife, stick it in his fucking neck and throw him in the fucking street. I said, John, easy, like, I'm not going to do that. Joey knows what he did. He knows their life. He's been through the fucking everything. The kid is a young pup. And let's let it go. And we let it go. In 90 or 91 or something like that, Johnny Pate and a few other guys were told by Carmine Persico that, from prison, that Vicarina was taking too much. He was being greedy, something like that. I had to take him out. Pate and a few guys sat in a car by Vicarina's house. And Vic knew there was bad blood between Persico and him. It was heating up. So when he went home at night, he saw a car parked there. And he saw this Johnny Pate and a few other guys in the car. He bluffed. He went like he had a fucking gun and he tried to, like he was going to come at them. They took off. They botched the hit. That botched hit started a war in the Colombo family between Vicarino's faction and Carmine Persico's faction. It just had started, and me and John went to prison in 1990. I heard things from prisons and stories and all kinds of shit. A lot of guys were killed. It was pretty vicious. A couple of innocent people got killed. I remember some kid working in a bagel store or something got killed. Not a kid, but he wasn't part of the life. Wasn't part of the war. They made a mistake when they killed him. I heard about it in prison. I had my own problems with John, and then eventually I flipped and I went my way, and I went into a wet sec unit, as you guys already know. And I was in my cell. I had a lot of friends there. Phil Leonetti was there, the same prison with me. Gino Milano. Frank Gangi came later. One of the Westies. One of the guys come to my cell and said, Sammy, you're not going to believe who came in. Who? Johnny Pate. They just brought Johnny Pate in. In this unit? Yeah. So then he flipped. Yeah, he flipped. He came in, and we stayed close. I put him on my table to eat, took care of him a little bit, and we hung out. So I did a couple of years with him. It's strange, our life. It's like a web. How we're all connected one way or another. People go to prison and bump into each other or another guy. It's amazing. It's like a big, big spider web. In that fucking spider web, I seem to pop up every fucking where in every story under the sun. I don't know, when I think about it and I talk about these things, how the fuck I was involved in so many fucking things. It's just mind-boggling to me. If you go to the Louis Melito story, when Louis Melito came out, he tells Joey Bellotti, wow, Sammy became very powerful now while he's away. He's not there for Paul, he was away a while. And we're in the same boat, me and you, because Tommy was killed, he figures he's in a shit house. That's a normal, retarded thought, but it happens. But he don't know that I saved Joey Bellotti's life and how I defended him, what I said, and what I did. Joey wasn't going against me for Louis' we're in the same boat type of bullshit. And you're in no boat, especially you. You were my friend. You betrayed us. You were supposed to get killed. Frankie wanted you dead on the fucking spot. And now you're in a boat because I excelled? In a boat to do what? So Joey understood, and it came up. Came up sometime later too, and I told you this story just recently about this Joe Watts with my son, and that's Joey again. Joey was loyal to me from the day I saved him till the day he died. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, press like, subscribe. We're telling stories on these stories, and my podcast comes out early, and a whole bunch of other things now we're working on with Patreon. We got quite a few followers in there. No commercials, no ads. We're adding things, we're working on things and adding things as we speak. I really want it to be a fun place. So at this time, I'm supposed to say adios, my friends.